My husband told me I'd never survive without him. Now he's begging me for rent money. When I married Jake at 22, he was 28 and made twice what I did working at the bank. He handled all our bills, our lease, everything financial. I just handed over my paycheck every month like a good little wife. Don't worry your pretty head about money stuff, he'd say with that smug smile. You wouldn't understand it anyway. Whenever I asked to see our budget or suggested I could help with finances, he'd laugh. Babe, stick to what you're good at. I've got the real responsibilities covered. He made me feel stupid for even asking, like I was some helpless child who couldn't handle grown-up things. The worst part was when I'd mention wanting to go back to school or maybe start my own business. Why waste money on that, he'd say. You'd never survive without me taking care of everything. You don't have the brain for business stuff. It hurt every time, but I believed him. I thought maybe he was right. Then last year, my friend Ashley started her own online boutique. She was making decent money selling clothes from her apartment. I got excited watching her posts about her sales and customers. When I told Jake I wanted to try something similar, he lost it. Are you insane? You can't even balance a checkbook. You'd lose everything we have. He made me feel so small that I dropped the idea completely. But secretly, I started learning. Every lunch break at work, I'd watch YouTube videos about starting online businesses. I learned about profit margins, inventory management, social media marketing. I even took a free online course about bookkeeping. I was actually pretty good at it, which shocked me. I started saving money in tiny amounts. $5 here, $10 there from grocery shopping. I told Jake the groceries cost more than they did and kept the difference. Over 6 months, I had saved almost $800 without him knowing. Then in March, Jake got laid off. Suddenly, our whole dynamic shifted. He was home all day, stressed out, applying for jobs. He started asking me about my paycheck, wanting to know exactly how much I made. For the first time, I was the only one bringing in money. That's when I discovered something that changed everything. While helping him organize papers for unemployment, I found our bank statements hidden in his desk drawer. We had way more money saved than he'd ever told me. Almost $15,000 in savings that he'd built up over our 3 years of marriage. Money that came from my paychecks too, but he'd never mentioned it existed. I confronted him that night. What's this savings account I've never heard of? He tried to brush it off. It's emergency money. You don't need to worry about it, but I pressed harder. It's my money too. I've been contributing to this for 3 years. He got defensive, saying I wouldn't understand how to manage that much money responsibly, that it was safer with him controlling it. I realized he'd been lying to me about our finances for years, making me think we were just scraping by when we actually had a nice cushion. That's when something clicked inside me. I opened my own bank account the next day and started depositing my entire paycheck there instead of the joint account. When Jake asked why our account was empty, I told him I was taking control of my own money. You can't do that, he said, panicking. I handle our finances. You don't know what you're doing. Then teach me, I said. Show me the budget, the bills, everything. He couldn't, because he'd been keeping me in the dark on purpose. Turns out most of our bills were actually in my name because of my better credit score, but he'd convinced me they were all his responsibility. 2 weeks later, I started my own online business selling handmade jewelry. I used my $800 in secret savings as startup money. Within a month, I was making $300 a week profit. Jake watched from the couch, still unemployed, as packages arrived daily with my business supplies and orders went out. By summer, my jewelry business was bringing in more money than my bank job. I was making custom pieces, had repeat customers, even got featured in a local blogger's Instagram. Jake went from mocking my little hobby to asking if I needed help packaging orders.